So growing up, I always lived with the lie that my happiest moments were when I was doing nothing, being unproductive, when I was chilling, when I was relaxing. Until I started to grow older and I started to realize that my happiest moments came from my most challenging times. And in today's video, I want to be teaching you guys that men actually achieve happiness through a challenge. So hello guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video, as I said, we'll be discussing exactly the belief that I have that men achieve happiness through having a challenge. And the funniest thing is that the majority of my life when I was growing up as a younger boy, I always wanted to lean towards relaxing, doing nothing. As much as I was quite disciplined, I was going to the gym and planning for things inside the future, I still wanted to chill a lot, I still wanted to relax a lot. And it's only up until now, well not really just today, but until my later years, such as 2021 or 2021, and I started to realize that the majority of my happiness, the majority of my fun, come from when I'm working towards my purpose, when I'm working towards my mission. And I think a lot of the depression and negative emotions I was feeling was around the time when I wasn't working towards something, when I wasn't challenging myself, when I wasn't going out there and trying to better myself. So I'm going to be giving you guys 4 points as to why men actually achieve more happiness from a challenge rather than choosing that relaxed side in life. And I want you guys to take this on board and start to basically throw yourself into the deep end and try to chase after more challenges. Because if you are going through, for example, like a rut or a phase right now where you don't feel as well as you usually did, or you don't feel good right now, or you want to start to feel better, I think one of the greatest ways as men we can achieve some form of happiness or just joy or peace is by indulging ourselves into a challenge or indulging ourselves in something that's hard and coming out the other side. So point number 1, comfort feels good, then destroys you. So comfort gives you short-term pleasure, but long-term regret. And the amount of times when I was just chilling, like for example, I used to game so much. I could game from morning till night, from night until morning, from the whole entire, from night to night. I could game for the whole entire day. But every single time that I did that, I always woke up the next day, or I always snapped back into reality and just regret what I done. I would play FIFA from like a complete champs in one day, and I'd be like, why did I even do that? I ruined my whole entire day. And now that I've stopped doing that, and I've actually started getting that dopamine from other forms of my life, such as working harder, I feel way much more better. I feel more fulfilled. And before I would feel like, no, this is my peace, this is my joy, but it wasn't. I just didn't have any fun doing that. When I would spend whole entire days just watching anime or whole entire days watching shows, I would never feel good. Like I feel better watching a show once a week or watching this, even though the series could be out. If I watch one episode a day or something like that, rather than binge watching, for me that feels a million times better. And it's because I'm not basically abusing it. I'm not doing too much inside of it. I'm not allowing too much comfort to come in. I'm getting moments of relax, like relaxing breaks, but for me, when I go all the way in, it just doesn't feel good. I don't feel any comfort from there. And the only thing I feel from that afterwards is regret for taking action. The men who chase comfort end up anxious, aimless, and bitter. And I myself, I was like that. I was a quite anxious person because when you are choosing comfort, when you are not doing the work, of course you're going to be anxious because you don't know how life is going to be for you down the line because you haven't done anything. You haven't set up no plans or no course for you to achieve anything. But when you have a purpose, when you have a challenge that's consistently making you grow as a person, you won't feel as anxious and you won't be bitter, and you most definitely will not be aimless. So without resistance, your identity has nothing to push against. So if you aren't trying to challenge your identity, if you're not trying to make yourself go that extra mile, there's no resistance in your life. Your identity is going to stay exactly where it is. And a life like that without any friction is a boring life. Your mind rots in comfort. Your purpose dies in safety. So when you are essentially living a carefree life with no challenge, no mission, no anything, your purpose is just going to die. And your mind is going to be just foggy and bored every single day because you have nothing to do. And you've seen that there's for example, there's a story about the owner who sold Loom. He made Loom become up to almost £1 billion valuated company. And he sold it. Then after that, he was so bored out of his mind because he entered a space of comfort that he achieved financial freedom where he didn't have to do anything anymore. And when he reached this point in his life, he just didn't even know what to do. So when you start to strive towards comfort rather than hustle and grinding, I bet he was enjoying so much more time on the come up. That's why people always say, enjoy the come up. Because once you make it, I'm not going to say life is going to be boring, but when you're going through those challenges and that hardship, not a much better feeling, because obviously when you're relaxed and actually, yeah, let's be real, but still, the come up is still a process to enjoy. The life you want is hiding behind the work you are avoiding. So you want to achieve a certain thing, you want to go to that next level, you want to grow as a person. To do that, you have to leave behind the comfort and embark in some form of challenge. Point number 2, a man without struggle is a man without self-respect. It's the genuine truth. If you are not trying to challenge yourself, you're not trying to make yourself go to that extra mile, to go to that next level, to achieve that next milestone, you most definitely do not respect yourself. Because at least I know for me that I want to push myself to next levels each time. Like even right now, it's like 11 something for me, 11:30 p.m. in the night. I've never recorded a video at this time. I'm so tired. But me doing this, I feel like mentally, if I do this, I gain like a +1 against my weaker version of myself. It don't make no sense, of course, but I make these little games in my mind. I'm pretty sure the guys who get it, they get exactly what I'm talking about. I make these little games in my mind where I like, if I do this, if I record now when I'm tired, when I want to be in bed, rather than recording, I gain something. I don't know what I gain something, like a +1 mentally, whatever it is, I gain something. And going through those little things like that makes me just respect myself even more, because I say, bro, you don't want to do this, but you are doing this. And I respect myself further because I do those sorts of things. You cannot respect yourself if you haven't earned your own approval. So of course, you probably, whenever you get into the situation where you can literally dish yourself or just have negative talk about yourself, of course you're going to do that because you don't respect yourself. You don't even have your own approval. As men, we understand what it takes to respect another man. Now, if you don't achieve those sort of things, if you're not even on track or on path to achieve those certain things, and you know that's what it takes to earn your own respect from somebody else, so you know that you won't be able to respect yourself, because if you don't respect somebody else who's not doing these things and you're not doing those things, of course you're not going to respect yourself. So discipline builds dignity. Conquering hard things creates internal peace. To earn self-respect, you must do the unseen work, finishing a workout when you want to quit. So if you want to start respecting yourself, you want to earn self-confidence, you have to do the unseen work. And Goggin talks about this, about how it built him up mentally. It's about the unseen work, the work that nobody sees. For you to be able to go to that next level, you have to do the unseen work. For example, as I said, finishing a workout when you want to quit. There's times when I'm doing cardio, I'm like, I just can't be bothered, I don't want to. Apart from the times when I'm injured, and I literally can't go further, I will keep going. Because I know for a fact that even if nobody sees, I see, I know. And if I take a step away from this and I don't do this thing, I note down in my mind and I reinforce in my mind, I'm the type of person who quits when things is getting tough. I quit way too early. And that is one of the worst things you can possibly do to yourself, especially as a man. So do the unseen work. Sticking to your plan when no one is watching. When you have that bulking program and no one is watching you, it's at 3 a.m. or it's at 12 and you need to get 1 more 1,000 calories in, and you have a protein shake with 1,000 calories in it, you have to finish that protein shake. Because if you don't, it's only going to make you weaken your belief in yourself. If you never test yourself, you will always doubt yourself. So if you never put yourself into the fire, you will never know if you can handle the fire or not. Now, I'm not saying go burn yourself, no. But if you never put yourself into any challenges, mentally you will know that, or at least mentally you will never have proof that you can ever manage these challenges. The only reason why I know I can bench 140 kg in the gym is because I've done it before. I've tested myself, I failed, I passed, and I've done it now. So I can say I can do it. But ask me, can I bench 160? I will doubt myself because I haven't done it before. Now you can extrapolate that into all realms in life. If somebody says to me, can I build a business? I won't really doubt myself, I've done it before. Of course, it wasn't extremely successful now because look, it's not completely done. I didn't make £1 million, I wasn't go play and stuff like that. But still, I've built a business before. So I won't doubt myself. I'll say, okay, I can improve, I can learn, I can grow. Those are the type of beliefs that I have in myself. And you need to install those things. But you can't install those things if you do not test yourself. So constantly put yourself towards challenges to test yourself and see whether you can do certain things. If you can't do it, you failed, sure, but failure is step 1. And now you learn and improve. If you do it from the start, even better. Point number 3, masculine fulfillment comes from responsibility. So every man is wired to carry weight, spiritually, physically, and mentally. So as men, we are seen to be the forefront of, at least for our families. So you have to be ready to carry this weight. And it's a wide thing, it's an internal thing. Mentally, I know I'm gonna get to a point where I have to be the prayer warrior for my house, the provider for my house, the strongest person in my family, because that's our goal, that's our role as men. And innately, it's wired within ourselves. The moment you start running from responsibility is the moment you start to lose meaning. So the second that you start to avoid responsibility is this, literally, you're no longer gonna be at least believing in yourself. And for me, especially even now, I have even more responsibilities, and I just see myself just go from responsibility to responsibility to responsibility to responsibility. And funny enough, I'm actually seeing a progression in my own enjoyment, because the more responsibility I have to take on board and the more work I have to get done, the more fulfilled I feel. So do not run away from responsibilities. If anything, run towards it. True joy isn't found in avoiding the burden. It is found in carrying it well. The stronger you become, the more valuable your life feels. So literally, the more things you have to do and the more things you get to do and the more responsibility you take on board, the more valuable that you feel, the more purpose filled that you feel. And when you have all this responsibility and you have all this purpose, you can't tell me you won't feel happy, because you most definitely will. The fact that I feel my life is actually valuable because I have certain roles and things that only I can do and that I need to do. Every day I have something to wake up for, because I know there's something that Dearenee has to do. But when you wake up and you're aimless and you have no purpose, you have no responsibilities, you have nothing, you can feel like you can be replaced like that. And that is not a good way to live. And the final point number 4, challenge reveals who you really are. And this is one of the most important things. A challenge will test the flame. It's like, there's a parable that I'm pretty sure I remember, and it's essentially, it was more for testing friendship, but I've used it in an analogy like this before, where the person had a stick in their hand and they threw the stick inside of the flame, and they did not know that that stick was actually a snake until it was tested in the flame, and from then that stick turned into a snake, or at least it was a snake already. So that's how you want it to be for yourself. You can't know whether what you really are unless you put yourself into the flame, unless you go into the challenge. And challenge reveals exactly who you are. When things get hard, your habits show. So are you as disciplined as you think you are? Do you do the work when you don't want to do the work? Who are you on the days when you don't want to do things? And this will really be shown when a challenge comes within your life. When life pushes, you find out if you're solid or soft. So life will show you. Life will really show you who you really are, and challenges will show you who you really are. Struggle doesn't just build character, it reveals it. So struggle will show you exactly what type of person you are. If you can't manage struggle, you'll find out really quickly. You'll find out very quickly. And challenges will show you who you really are. And the more you get to find out about who you are, it's actually a good thing, because then you can know what you need to work on. If you never test yourself, you never challenge yourself, you will never know what to improve. So you need to have these challenges in your life to be able to take yourself to that next level once again. And finally, a life without challenge is a life without feedback. And without feedback, there is no growth, only fantasy. And life isn't a fantasy. If you don't try to grow yourself, and the only way to grow yourself is by getting feedback, like I spoke about it multiple times, feedback loops, positive and negative feedback loops. If you aren't getting feedback inside, well, at least feedback on yourself, you can't grow as a person. It's impossible. You can't grow something without getting feedback on it to know what it needs to grow in. So you need to push yourself towards these challenges and go to that next level and find out exactly what you're missing to be able to do that, take that step. The man who avoids challenge avoids himself. And you, once again, I'm going to keep honing in on this. Challenge is imperative. You need to go through challenges, and that challenge will actually birth happiness, because when you go through these challenges and you think, hold on a minute, I was actually able to overcome this, the joy that you feel from that is inexplainable. And finally, happiness isn't found in escape. It is found through endurance. Lean into resistance, choose the weight, and let the challenge shape you. And the quote I want you guys to leave with today is, the most fulfilled men aren't running from pressure, they run towards it. So if you want to feel happiness, if you want to feel contentment and a level of peace, you need to have a purpose, you need to have a mission that you're consistently striving towards, that you're consistently aiming towards. And you will see as a man, that is how you achieve happiness. Now, to touch upon challenge, if any of you guys want to join my 90-day challenge, it will be called the Gold Echelon 90-Day Elevation Challenge, or something along those lines. Click the link inside the description and join my free Discord community. I'll be running this from June 1st until 90 days afterwards, where I'll be pushing myself to the next level. And anybody who wants to get on board with this, you can click the link inside the description, join and get on board as well.